Hello and welcome to AmalgamNation. This week it's basically me rebuilding my computer. The case that I used to have my computer in was just too small for my needs, so I bought a bigger one. And you can see it right there. The big thing is my new case. It's an Aerocool GTS case and it is absolutely massive. I can barely lift the computer with all the parts in that case, and it's just brilliant. But I'm not here to tell you specifically about that case. This is me building the computer. I deliberately chose to make this vid in black and white because the lighting in the room where I was building the computer wasn't all that good, so it tinted everything in a different color than it should be. So I'm going to have to do something about that for any future vids that aren't just gameplay footage. And the camera's a bit shaky because I don't have a tripod, to be honest, and I don't need one. Most of what I'm doing is game reviews, not PC building. And that's my motherboard going in there to the case. The power supply is right there. As you can see, it's an RM1000 by Corsair, although you can't see it's by Corsair, but that's a Corsair RM1000. It's a 1000 watt power supply. It's fully modular, that's why there's no wires there yet. You will not see me wiring up this computer because wiring is basically just an awful lot of cursing and swearing and being annoyed, and that's not what I want to do. That is a Crosshair V Formula Z motherboard by Asus's Republic of Gamers division. I've got an AMD 8-core processor in there. The processor is clocked at 4.02 gigahertz. There's 4 slots for RAM. You can see them there. It's a gamer's motherboard. It's got 4 PCI Express slots and 2 PCI slots. There's a ton of USB on that thing. I mean a ton. And there are 8 SATA ports on it. Currently you're looking at one of the most boring parts of building a computer: screwing in the motherboards onto the base plate of the computer. You're not going to see me putting the heatsink on either because it's liquid cooling, and it's an all-in-one liquid cooler. It's a cooler Master Seidon liquid cooler. It's just annoying to try and put one of those in while filming, and it takes time, and I needed help with that as well, so my cameraman for this vid had to help me with that part, so you won't be seeing that. So there's 2 things you won't see: me wiring it, and you won't see me putting in the CPU cooler. You will, however, get to see just about all the parts that go into this. In a moment I will, to be honest, I'm not sure what way I edited this, but you'll see me putting in my RAM. There's going to be 32 gigabytes of Kingston HyperX Beast 2400 megahertz RAM. There's going to be 3 hard drives in there. A 250 gigabyte from Toshiba, a Western Digital Green 2 terabyte hard drive, a Western Digital Green 3 terabyte hard drive. Yes, I know Western Digital Black are better for gaming, but I was not able to source one for my build, so I was not able to source one at a price I was comfortable with for my build, so I went with Western Digital Green. And to be honest, it doesn't really affect my gameplay all that much. I don't mind waiting an extra second or 2 for games to load, or for vids to play, or any of the things that I'm going to be doing on it. And I've got that much RAM in this thing that it's not going to be much of a deal when it comes to loading times or rendering the video for YouTube or any of that. Right now I'm putting on the hard drive enclosures. They're slot into place ones, and you just screw them onto the hard drive from the bottom, and you can see the one I'm working on there, I believe it was the Toshiba one. Then you have the two Western Digital ones stacked on the desk there. While I'm building this, I'm in a room with no carpeting whatsoever and wooden floors and a wooden table, so there's no static around. And there's a trick you can do to to help release static. What you do is you take a power supply for a spare power supply for a computer, and you don't plug it in, but you touch the power supply. As long as there's a cable plugged into the power supply and it's not plugged into a socket, the static, if you have any, will discharge into the power supply and travel down that socket till it reaches travel down that cable till it reaches the fuse, and it will be discharged there. And in case anybody says anything, yes, that is a Batman t-shirt I'm wearing. There's pretty much not much I can say about this. Building computers, I love it, but it gets boring when you're talking about doing it. Right there, there's me putting in the RAM one stick at a time. As I said, Kingston HyperX Beast RAM. I like it. I chose it because it's good. It came in two 16GB bundles to make 32GB, and to be honest, it is one of the sexiest looking RAM sticks I have ever seen. The heatsink on it is amazing. It fits in with my build, which I went with a style of black and red. The grey area to the left of my hand on screen is actually red on the casing, but you can't see that at the moment because it's in black and white. At the end there will be a thing in colour of what my computer looks like when it's running and fully lit up. I've also installed a fan controller, which you will see at the end of the vid. You're not going to see that being installed in this vid either, because I had never installed one before and I had no idea what I was doing. So it was a lot of trial and error and just getting things right. Now that's the fan controller there, already installed and set up. This is me installing the Blu-ray drive that I have for it. It's an Asus Blu-ray combo drive. It's got a DVD burner in there. I got it for cheap, and kind of a waste of money. You see me making a mistake there. There's a panel that I'm supposed to remove before I can put in the hard drive, and well, not the hard drive, the DVD drive or optical drive, and I hadn't noticed it, so I was trying to push the drive into the slot and it just would not go in. And to be honest, I ended up putting the drive one slot down because it still would not go in all the way. It just would not fit. So I have the fan controller, then I have a grate with a dust filter on it, then I have the optical drive and another grate with a dust filter on it. Now, what else can I say about this? It's just a simple computer build. As I said, there's not much to it. If you know what you're doing, this stuff gets pretty tedious and boring pretty fast. And there are tons of vids out there with more detail. This is just me wanting to show my build. That's my graphics card going in there now. This case has a scrollless theme for it when it comes to the PCI cards. You just pop up those switches there, you remove those those little air grates there, and you slot your card in, and then you push the switches back down, which you're going to see me doing now in a second. I had some difficulty with it, but I got it done, and it's just a case of the switches are a little bit stiff when it comes to pushing them down. You're also going to see me installing something that most self-respecting gamers or PC enthusiasts won't install into a computer, which is a built-in Wi-Fi card. But I need it for where I'm living. I need it for connecting to the internet, because I don't want to run wires all over the house, and that's my hair you seen. Now my friend who was on camera just zoomed in to show you a better look at the process there. Well, he actually moved in closer for that because he didn't know how to use the camera properly. But it was nice of him to help me, and while I'm here I'm going to give a shout out to him. Thank you, Alex Komarov, for being my cameraman for this build and for putting up with the boring and finicky parts of the whole thing and helping me out with the annoying parts of the build as well. That tiny little thing is the PCI Wi-Fi card. It's got 3 antennas and great strength signal, and I basically like it. It's pretty good. It's not as good as wired, but I have Wi-Fi, so wherever I go, if I take my computer with me, if there's Wi-Fi internet, I've got the internet. It's that simple. That's why I like it. Here we have the whole thing lit up and actually up and running. You can see the screens reflected there. That is my LCD touchscreen fan controller. The front lights up. Those were 2 extra fans I put into it. They don't come with the case. Remember, play to game and game to play.